We're going to practice making selections today. So before you get started, if you would like to do this with me, go ahead and find this file in Google Classroom beside this video and open it. All right, so here's what we're going to do. So we are going to use different methods of moving these objects towards the center here. Okay, so this is actually we're just going to call this a book. And we're going to move the water lily to the book and this oval to the book and the 5 and so on and so on. Okay, so the most simplest of the different selections tools would be the wand tool. So the shortcut to find it is the letter W. Okay, or it's right there. What we're going to do is go ahead and grab it. I wish I could move this thing. I can't. There we go. Okay, so grab your wand tool. And then again, here's your option bar. So we need to make sure that this looks right. We're going to go ahead and make sure sample size is set to point sample. And then the tolerance. This tolerance basically it decides how many similar tones based off that first thing we click. So we want to make sure that we want to set that to about 70. Okay, and then we're going to come in here and we're going to click on this number 5 right here. And you see how it doesn't necessarily select all of it, so we need to grab the rest of it. So to do that, we're going to press and hold the shift key down until our wand has a plus symbol. And then we're just going to go around and we're going to make sure that it gets all of the number 5. And once it does and you're happy with it, we're going to switch to our move tool. And we're just going to, again, when you move things, you know, once you have it selected, you're going to see the little scissors there. And you're just going to select it and you're going to move it up. Now you're going to see a cutout from what you did. Okay, it doesn't just disappear. And this color is dependent on what is happening over here. So if your color doesn't match mine, it's just because over in your color picker you have something different selected. Okay, we need to deselect this now. So let's get used to using shortcuts. So the shortcut to deselect something is Command and the letter D. Okay, the next tool we're going to use, or the next item we're going to cut out, is going to be this water lily right here. So we're going to use a combination of things. First, we're going to use our rectangular marquee tool. So that's this one right here. And what I'm going to do is I am going to make a selection around this water lily. So go ahead and start at the upper left and then drag so you have a box around it. So at this point, the water lily and the white background are selected. So if I were to move this, all of this would actually come with it. So what we want to do is we want to subtract this white background. So now we're going to grab our wand tool here and we're going to change the tolerance. Okay, so we're going to change that to a lower number. Let's just do around 30-ish. So that way it doesn't select too many. So the reason why is you see how we have some of these white petals here on this white background. We don't want it to select that. So we're just going to start there. And you can always change that and start again. All right, to select it, so we're on our wand tool. We're going to come over here and we're going to press the Option key. So now we have a little subtraction sign. So remember when we had the plus sign, or excuse me, when we pressed Shift, we saw a plus sign with our wand. Now we're pressing the Option key and we see a negative sign. So if I click in the white area, because that's the area I want to subtract from my selection, what would hopefully happen is this. So now my selection is just around the area that I want, and it's got rid of all this white around it. Then again, I want to move it. So I'm going to grab my move tool. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to go ahead and move it wherever I want it. And then when I'm done and I'm happy with this, I'm just going to press Command and the letter D to deselect that. Okay, so that's how the wand tool works. Let's move on to something a little different. We're going to use the elliptical marquee tool. So that's hidden behind the rectangular marquee tool. So I'm going to click on it and hold, find the elliptical marquee tool, and now I'm going to cut out this ellipse right here. All right, so I'm going to go to the top left of it and I'm just going to drag down, okay, and get something similar to the right size. Now this is by nowhere, it's not perfect at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to let go of my mouse. I have to hold on to that. And if I let go of it, you have to basically start again. So if you let go already, Command D to get rid of the selection and then start again. Okay, so for this one, if I press and hold the space bar, it allows me to move this while locking it into position. So I'm going to move this about where I want it, let go of the space bar but not my mouse, and I'm just going to keep kind of making little adjustments so that I can get it exactly around my shape. So that looks pretty good. When I'm finally satisfied with it, that's when I'll let go of my mouse. Okay, so you're using the space bar to do this. Move tool, go ahead and cut it out and move it wherever you would like. Okay, and don't forget how to deselect this tool, or deselect this selection by hitting Command and the letter D. Okay, so that's that one. Now let's move along. Let's go to this globe over here. So we're going to zoom in by pressing Command and the plus key to zoom in. And if I press the space bar, I'll have my little hand and I can basically move this right to where I want it. Okay, I'm going to go back to that elliptical marquee tool. Now, what I would like to do is I would like to make a selection coming directly from the middle of this globe. So I'm going to bring my mouse as close to the center as I can eyeball. I'm going to press the Option key and I'm going to drag out. And you're going to notice right away what is happening here. And sometimes you might even want to press the space bar if you weren't perfectly on the center. Okay, you're going to get as close to it as possible. When you're satisfied with it, no, I totally was way off. Let's do that. Go ahead and let go of the mouse before you let go of the Alt key. I'm going to zoom out so I can see what I'm doing here. Now let's try something again a little different. I want to duplicate this. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and use my move tool, but let's cut it out. Okay, so we'll cut it out about there. And then I'm going to press the Option key again. Okay, and you're going to see something very similar to how it was in Illustrator. You'll see that double arrow. And I can make multiples of these. So go ahead and make 4. And then when you're good, go ahead and deselect it, Command and the letter D. All right. Okay, with the next one, we're going to use what is our lasso tool. All right, so the lasso tool is 3 down. And we are going to zoom in around this pen down here. So Command and plus to zoom in so we can really get a good look at it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a combination of tools here. So we have various lasso tools in here. Okay, we have our lasso tool, we have our polygonal lasso tool, and we have our magnetic lasso tool. So our lasso tool is good for making like curves and rounded edges. It's more of a free form type of tool. The polygonal one makes straight lines. Okay, so we're going to start with this one because we have a curve here. But everything else is pretty straight. So we're going to start here. And we're never going to release the mouse, okay, until I tell you to do so. So we're going to click and we're going to hold. And we're going to go very carefully around here. Oops. And if it doesn't look great, you can always start again. Okay, I'm going to press the Option key. Okay, and that doesn't look like anything happens. But at this point, you can release the mouse. And this is... okay, and you'll notice right away, you can't let go of the Option key, but you'll notice right away that your lasso has changed. Okay, and now you just have to click and drag. So see how it creates straight lines? All right, so you have to pretty much go around and click along the edges of this pen. And once you get to the end here, as soon as you let go of the mouse and the Option key, you'll have your selection there. Okay? Okay. Now I'm going to grab my move tool and I'm going to go ahead and move it away from this area. I'm also going to zoom out so I can see what I'm looking at. So I just hit Command and minus. Okay? You can move it wherever you want it. Let's go ahead and put it up here and get it completely away from there. I also want to show you how you can rotate this. Okay, so if we were to go to Edit, and we could go down to Free Transform, we could go to Transform, whichever one. But let's just try out Transform since we haven't seen that one yet. And we can rotate it. All right. And then when you have it how you like it, you just press that check mark, or you can press the return key on your keyboard. And again, when you're completely done with moving this thing around, it's just Command and the letter D. Okay, last and final selection tool I'm going to show you in this lesson. You are going to cut out this lock right here, and we're going to use the magnetic lasso to do it. So again, click and hold, grab the magnetic lasso. I'm going to zoom in. Okay. Pick an area that you want to start. It's a simple one click, and then you just let it follow around, and you just kind of try to keep a steady hand in what it's looking for. You can always add clicks sometimes too if you need to. So if it's not dropping points where you want them to drop, go ahead and click. Do not double click though. If you double click, it's a done deal. You see how that's not grabbing all of it? I'm going to go around this way. So the point is learning how to make really clean selections. And when it finishes up, when it comes back to its starting point, you'll notice that there's a little open circle, okay, an O, right next to your tool. And that means it's come full circle. And once you click on it, it'll finish it up. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to use my move tool. Go ahead and move this to wherever you like. All right, why don't we adjust the size of this one? We'll go to Edit, we'll go to Transform, and this time we'll go to Scale. Hold Shift while you do it. Press the check mark, and then press Command D. Okay, I lied. Final thing I'm going to show you when this is all done. As long as you brought all this to the center, we can get rid of all this very simply and easily, okay? And we're going to do that with what's called the crop tool. So this is the crop tool. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to go to the option bar and make it work the way I would like it to. And I'm going to click there and I'm going to go to unconstrained. And then all I'm going to do is come in and I'm going to make sure everything I've done is inside of the box. Anything that's dark is basically going to be cut off. Okay, so everything out here is going to go away. And then when you have it how you like it, go ahead and press the check mark. Okay, this is what you're going to turn into me. Let me know if you have any questions.